Yeah, good evening, guys. So, welcome back to the graphic design training. I believe we're doing great today. It's been a while, yeah. Today, I will show you how you can make a professional baby flyer on your Android smartphone using your PixelLab as usual. So, if you are a designer looking for a creative baby flyer to make for your client or your loved ones or your relative, this video is for you. Or you are a self-learner trying to lay your hand on many design. This video is for you as well. So without wasting much of our time, let's get started. I have all the templates, the backgrounds I want to use. I have it formed. Then I have the two images which I want to use. So let's get started. So the first thing is to select the background you want to use. So I have this background which I want to use. And this liquid background was downloaded on my on Pinterest. And when you look at this bottom, there is a white stuff. I place that there as a kind of design. And then after that has been done, I will heading back to my gallery, bringing the image I want to use. So take it for instance, I'm bringing this image. Everything is well set behind the screen to make sure that it actually size the particular size I have in my mind. And as you can see, I position these two images with different posture, so which make it to be okay. Then the next thing is to send it to the back. After sending it to the back, what you need to do next is to go to opacity, reduce your opacity, and let that image to be showing small. You can see, right? Very good. After you are able to allow the image to show, you can make it to be 20, but don't let it be too obvious. So after that has been done, you need to do other stuff to make it okay, but make sure that you lock it first. Then heading back to your gallery, we are going to bring other elements to make sure that everything is actually cool. So take it for instance, I'm bringing this particular shape that was cut behind the screen. You can use any. Then you position, just make sure that you position the image the way you want it, just as perfect as this. And when you position it like this, we need to cover the bottom with a kind of a shape. And how can we do that? What we need to do is to hide this. Then heading back to your gallery, click on this sticker, then you should have this white particle. And we are going to use this to blend everything. Tap the empty area, then go to the color, use your color picker to pick the color of the background, which is necessary. Then after you are able to do that, you continue replicating this particular frame until when you are able to cover the whole stuff. So I'm covering it, cover it. So continue positioning there, and don't let it be too boring. So, and that is the exact part which we are going to position the text to make it okay. Okay, so you can reduce to make sure that everything work the way you wanted. So instead of me to use a blend account will be giving me an issue. So I decided to use that uh, um sticker, which is whitish sticker, somehow transparent but can give you the result. The only disadvantages of this is it take a longer time before you can achieve the result, but the result worth it compared to when you're trying to do your gradient, do the gradient to do the blender. So in such a situation, things might not work as you want. So now that we have the whole stuff, then everything seemed to be right. So to cover the whole mess and make everything easy, you can now tap on this and bring out this shape. After that, have the color being changed and send that to the back so that you won't be able to see anything anymore. So after that, you have to make sure that you lock everything, every sticker, you lock them, because a little mistake can drag it and spoil the whole design. So we can see that we have copied a lot of things. A lot of sticker has been copied just for us to be able to blend, and we don't have issue with that. It's just because The PixelLab doesn't have blending. So now everything seems to be cool. Okay. So now we are in this. So we can come here by unlocking this, then reduce the size just to make sure that it cover. And now everything seems to be cool, as you can see. But I still have a very bad feeling with this, so which means I need to delete a lot here. So deleting a lot, okay. Then I will be checking. Okay, let me just be back again for me to be able to still achieve the aim. So guess this is perfect, but let me still delete some. So checking, still delete some, checking, delete some, okay, delete. Okay, it seems everything is actually okay like this. So after that, the only mistake we made here is to just bring this one to cover this area. Okay, so if we were able to cover that area, then we need to reduce the opacity for this, just for what? Just for blending sake, to make sure that everything is actually blend. Okay. Yeah, and I guess instead of doing that, we can just make sure that everything is actually rhyme. Okay, perfect, perfect. So now what we need to do next is to put in all our write-up. So take it for instance, I need to start by importing the other stuff. So bringing this social media icon, position it at the top at the edge of this. Then heading back to the gallery, bring everything bringable so that you can be able to focus on what you are going to search. So now that we have that, then the next thing we need to do is to tap happy. Okay, so let it be in capital letter. Then you go in there and use an achievable black font. So reduce the size and let there be little space in between the text, and make sure that you position it around there. So guess this is cool, right? Okay, perfect, perfect. So after that has been done, then the next thing we can do is to put in other stuff to make sure that we're able to achieve our aim and objective. So heading back to our gallery, let's say we have what we call a bet. Then after getting the bet, we go to the kind of a font we want to use. So I'm thinking of achievable black as usual. Then I will go to the color, reduce the color to 0 so that it disappear. Then go back to the stroke and give it stroke of your desire. Let's say 3. Have the color change to white. Increase the size very well. So when you increase the size, have it position around there. But the better thing is to make sure that you position it around there. So when you position it around there, you should be able to have your better result. So now we have everything cool, just as perfect as this. Okay, just make sure you align it properly. Then have the two lock. Okay, perfect. Then after that, we have what we call a day, as you can see. So when you have day, you go into the font type, select the font called Chomply font. That one can give you a special font, special look. Then increase the size and have it position around there. Make sure that you do a thorough work. Okay, and you can set it anyhow you want, any way. So we have this and we have to make sure that we bring this one to the front. So after bringing it to the front, then we can manually adjust this. Okay, just manually adjust it. Okay, then you have a lock back. Then increase the size very well for this. Increase the size. Okay, perfect. Then when you are able to do that, you are going to shift this towards the belt. Then have the color change. So go to the gradient and have the color change like this. So you can have the button being plain, for instance. And how can we make this one to be obvious? The first thing we need to do is to give it what we call a stroke. So when you give it a stroke, change the color to white to be obvious at that level. You can increase the how you want the stroke to be. Then heading back to 3D to make it 3D but not as perfect as that. So make it 3D or make it oblique. When you make it oblique, let it be 1. Darken, increase it. And you can change the color to this if possible. So you can change the color, depends on your choice. Okay, then you have a position very well after changing, or better still, we can decide to use just normal method, just as perfect as this. Then after that, we can go into lighter parts to make sure that it will work out well. We have our shadow being double, spectacular, hardness, and intensity should be 100. Now heading back to what we call a 3D shadow. No, let's go to inner shadow. Inner shadow. Enable the inner shadow. Increase your blur radius. The offsets should just be touched to make sure that everything really cool. You can reduce the blur radius. While you are moving it, you are just arrange everything accordingly. So now good. But one thing that I'm having a bad feeling with this, so you can heading back to where you select the 3D, have the rotation done properly to make sure that everything is actually cool. So have it done properly. So it seems it's not cool. So which shows we can still even make it enable stroke off. So let's have our darking to be much. Okay, we change that. And after the depth is 0, then darking stroke. Okay, we can reduce. Darking should be reduced. And let's see. When darking is reduced, everything is actually plumb. So you bring that down, so I need to be show much. Okay, perfect. So now let's just adjust by position this underneath. Then you measure it, okay? Just measure. Don't let it be too long and don't let it be too short. Then you position that around there. After you are able to do that, what you need to do is to change the color. So we change this, okay? Why we are going to interchange everything. Then you have this being changed as well. Then you can make this one lighter a little bit. So take it for instance, it could be lighter. Okay, let it be lighter. Okay, perfect, perfect. So now we have the whole worker. Then we can still go in there, have this one change or this one. Then everything seems to be cool. Then you can come in to copy this happy birthday happy, then have it change quickly. So let's say we have heartfelt wishes. So we have what we call heartfelt. So what we call an heartfelt wish. Okay, good. So we are going to position that here, but we reduce the size and the spacing should be reduced as well. So let's reduce. So we should position that around here and everything seems to be working perfectly. So now go. We need to go in there, have this one check. if we apply any kind of a 3D to this. So if there is none, good. Then we can have the font being changed so that it will not be as big as that. So we have the normal achieve. Then we can increase the size a bit. So now everything seems to be cool. If possible, let's bold this a little bit. Okay, perfect. So at the left hand side, we can just we can put obacco. No, we have what we call opa opa. Okay, then you use a font called let's use a font called Morganite Bold. Then increase the size a bit to be able to fit in here. So after you're able to do that and make sure it can fit in there, then the next thing we need to do is to just bring in a particular shape just as small as this, have it positioned around there properly. Okay, so we target this and you position it here. So after that you need to copy this, just copy the right up. Then you have what we call uh, um, Elizabeth. Then you have that position by changing the color to or have the font being changed to let's say we change it to black and position it here. Have the size being reduced will be the best, and you arrange it properly. So now that we are able to do that, then the next thing we need to do, okay, perfect, is to just copy this into the text, and you have what we call the third name, we have what we call root. So have it positioned here, then let there be space in between to follow the hierarchy. Reduce the size a bit and have it position at the bottom. Okay, but slowly. Okay, good. We can even increase the size. If we increase the size, we see how it is. Okay, okay, perfect. So now we have the whole stuff being positioned here. Copy and you paste your heartfelt wishes. So we have our heartfelt wishes to be many happy returns of the day. Hope you feel most yourselves and all that stuff. This is just a kind of heartfelt. So we are going to reduce that and have this position. We check in whether there is a space. So whether there is a space, we are going to close that. Then whether there is no space in between here, we check, or better still, we are going to change the whole font. Okay, change the whole font. So let's say we want to use a Laura, or we check about Chibo, or let's look at Montezera. So looking at the Montezera could be the best. Then when everything scatter like that, just go to auto recover, then you put it to the last one. So when you put it to the last one, and this is the area where you want to change the font, so you can reselect your Montezera. So when you select your Montezera, you just do your perfect work by making sure that the hotel start from here and you have the whole scenario at hand. So we have this. I'm going to have it like this. Okay, perfect. So let there be space in between the line, the words, and everything seems to be cool. So after that, before we form others, so we have what we call or let's put the names. So we have to copy this. So when we copy that, then we have what we call a root. Then go into the font, have the font to change to semi bold, then change it to capital letter, and reduce the size, have it change. So we are going to change everything just to form this. Okay, now that we're able to do this, we are going to reduce the size. That's the first task. After you're able to reduce the size very well, and then reduce it very well, so you are going to create space in between this, so you can see. So you can just use the position icon to position it, and you make sure that it's not as big as you think, and it's not as small, and it is not small. So the next thing is to reduce the line spacing so that you'll be able to form this, but not to be too big. So when you are able to form, go back to the size, have the size reduced to 20, then manually adjust by bringing it down to this particular area. Okay, very good. So when you are able to do that, we are going to do the same thing here. So take it for instance, we copy, then we have what we call Elizabeth. Elizabeth. Okay, good. So now that we have this, so we can position and move this one towards this edge. So while we have the size being reduced, we'll position it around there. Very perfect. So we're going to position that one here, but to do um there will be an overlay, well, there will be a background for this. So I'm selecting shape, bringing shape to this particular area, then you position it here, drag it down. So when you're able to do that, you will do a kind of demarcation. So reduce the opacity for you to be able to see what you are working on. So readjust and centralize where necessary. Then return back the opacity and send it to the back. So when you send it to the back, which shows that you are making sense. Then the next, but not the last, but not the least, just copy this. Then we have plus one. Okay, we have plus one. So we are going to position that around here by reducing the size. So position this here. So when you position, we have going to copy this. Then we have what we call it today. So when you have today, you can increase the size a bit to bring it down here. After that, reduce the size while you are moving towards this. Check. Then don't say because it's bent you will not follow alignment. Make sure that everything really align, and it's really communicating. So after that has been done, then the next thing is to copy the name as well. While we have Friday, this is for educational sake. So we have Friday, which I'm going to reduce the size. After reduction, position it at the top here. So you are going to measure, if possible, turn on your grid. Use your grid as a measure here. Okay. Then after that, you can manually adjust this one down by positioning it here. So when you are able to do that, what we need to do next is to copy this Elizabeth, and you have what we call second. When you have second, increase the size a bit, have its position here, Then you need to close. Okay, close it. Okay, then the next thing is to reduce the size. So position it here. Then after you're able to do that, we can have this being changed for us to be able to get exactly what we wanted. So let's look at this, and it seems it's perfect, but let's make it to the border one among the font family. So that's why we'll be able to go for extra bold. So extra bold is perfect. Why I'm increasing this and rearrange so that I can centralize. So everything seems to be cool. Then I will have what we call June. Sorry, I've made mistake in that text. What we call May. Then I will use a font called Bibas font. Okay, so I have a font called Bibas font. So which is here. Then I will make sure that this it will be changed to 2026. So position. So manually adjust this, adjust and increase. So adjust and increase a bit. Okay, perfect. Then after that, we are going to look at this test. Is zero really okay? Then we can think about the leg. So the legs pattern is more seated than the other one. So I'm going to use legs legs pattern, legs pattern, and as you can see, so this is cool. Okay, very good. Then you are going to copy this and you have what we call 2023. Increase the size to see clearly. Then after that, reduce and reposition around here. Let's close the shape in between the alphabet, and you manually adjust and place at the bottom of May, which is 2023. Then that one doesn't stop you from increasing the size and follow from your alignment, and everything seems to be cool. So the next thing to do is to just make sure that everything is white. We are going to mesh. After measuring, then uh, we are going to reduce it. So now mesh, perfect. Then reduce the size. So reducing the size and think that will be the best. So very cool. So now we are moving gradually towards the end. So I want to do something here by position this here, then reduce the size a bit, which I'm going to cut out later. So we are going to have the name being type here. So I will have what we call Diko. Okay. And then we are going to use the same font called Biba. So using Biba, we can reduce the size and order to make sure that it really work. So reducing the size. Why we are going to position well. So we are going to reposition. So reposition well, and you position it here. Now you have to tap here, change the color to something like red anyway. So we want to change it to something like red. I guess that one is okay. Then after that, we are going to cut out. So let's just cut out some particular area here. Cut it out. Bring this one out, enable. Then drag a little bit to cover out the shape, not the text. And then what we need to do next is to copy. Okay, we are going to copy the studio, the Diko. Then we have what we call Diko graphics. Okay, in capital letter. So we need to change this font from the bold one to lighter one if possible. So I've seen one which I want to use. So take it for instance, I'm using this. So I need to reduce the size or leave it like that if it fits in. But what I want to form is just a particular shape. So now everything seems to be cool and everything seems to work perfectly. So another thing we can do is just I'm thinking of bringing this one here. So thinking of where it is so that we can bring it up. Perfect. So that might sound somehow, but what we need to do next, we are done with everything, and this is just a simple way on how you can come up with a professional banner. Birthday flyer on your Android smartphone using your PixelLab. I believe we will learn something from here. So what I'm thinking that we should do is to just make some a kind of alignment at that particular area to make sure that everything is actually cool. So, and thank God I've seen that. So now after I seen this, then I will be able to increase the size very well so that it can be in line with what I'm targeting. So, okay, perfect. So I'm trying to reduce the size to this to make sure that it actually work. Okay, perfect. Perfect. So this is just a tricks behind professional birthday flyer using your Android smartphone. I believe one learn something from here. Thanks for watching. God bless you. Don't forget to save your design with ultra dimension and format with PNG. Thanks for watching once again.